The next great resource for local weather is now available.
DigitalWeatherDesk.com is your source for up-to-the-minute local weather. Add DigitalWeatherDesk.com to your favorites, download our app, and follow me on social media. The Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.
Don't watch internet weather videos if you're stuck on the interstate. Stay off your phone. Let's take a look at I-20. It is backed up in the westbound lanes. I do not see an accident per se. I think it may just be your typical evening volume that's backing things up. There may be a stalled vehicle or an accident or something in the road, or you never know. But that's what I-20 looks like at 5:20 on this Thursday evening. Good evening, and thank you so much for taking time out to join the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. The high points, obviously, multiple rounds of storms are a possibility starting as early as the overnight hours and the pre-dawn hours tomorrow morning. Even some spotty showers and isolated thunderstorms over the next few hours will continue, although we really haven't seen thunderstorm activity in our area yet. Main threat for any storms that become severe are the possibility of damaging wind gusts. Those storms could now linger into Friday night, maybe even into early Saturday morning. We'll take a look at all of that in just a minute. Here's a look at the radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Residential, commercial, you name it, and they will take care of you. We have seen some storms. We had a rogue severe thunderstorm warning along the I-30 corridor, about 2 hours ago? It's during the 3 o'clock hour. That storm, or what's left of it, making its way up I-30 toward Arkadelphia. Again, really no bother, and it's not in our area, but just a sign of firmly illustrating some of the stuff that we could deal with over the next several hours and even into the overnight. Same story as you move back into the southern parishes and even into central sections of Louisiana, where we really haven't seen much in terms. You can see the lightning strikes on the top left-hand side of your screen there. Total strikes 0, meaning that while we've had some brief heavier downpours in the southern parishes, we really haven't seen any thunderstorms. It's just been a few spotty showers. Some of those showers perhaps producing, again, some brief heavier rainfall across the region. Best time frame for storms around the Jonesboro area tomorrow, well, it's just a tough call. Because to be honest with you, I think we're going to be dealing with off and on rain chances through much of the day. I think you guys may stay west of the early morning showers and storms, but I would think by late morning, early afternoon, you could have potential, and then that would set up through the rest of the day, and into the nighttime hours on Friday. Probably wrapping up the storm threat in your area by, I would think, 9 or 10 o'clock. Midnight at the latest, but we'll talk about all that in just a minute. Again, the ongoing shower activity, well illustrates what we could run into over the next few hours ahead of the more organized storm potential as we go through the day tomorrow. Temperatures are in the low to mid 70s. Again, very warm and very humid. Dew points are in the low to mid 60s. Plenty warm and humid enough to support strong to severe storm potential. In fact, it's been the warm, humid air that's really fed what limited activity we've seen so far today. And also, winds have been quite breezy out of the south, generally in the 10 to 20 mile an hour range. We've had some higher gusts at times through the course of the day, and those winds will start to die down a little bit tonight, and they may not be quite as strong through the daytime hours tomorrow. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 frontage road in Monroe. Again, one factor I think that's important to keep in mind is the pretty persistent southerly winds. I took the winds out of here just because I think it cleaned up the overall model image so we could see things a little bit better. Spotty storm potential obviously will still linger across the area through daybreak. Overall severe weather potential with any stuff that we see overnight will likely stay quite isolated. I think the best chance of seeing any kind of isolated activity again would be focused across the Mississippi Valley and in our southern parishes. That's where a lot of the model activity, the model data has been kind of hinting at it. And there's just kind of a surge in low-level winds in those areas that lead to the possibility of some spotty showers. Aside from that, depending on how much rain we really have to work with during the morning, there will be another window of opportunity for storms late morning, early afternoon. I think this is the most promising window for storm potential across the entire area. The morning storm potential, conditional, because it's morning and the atmosphere is kind of stabilized and the atmosphere may be somewhat capped, so we just don't know how much we can really get going during the morning. In the evening, we may have dealt with these storms, and so the atmosphere may be overturned to a point where we really don't have enough instability to generate storms by the late night time frame. But we'll get to that in a minute. So this looks to be probably the most promising window of opportunity for storms, and it's a pretty broad window from late morning through mid to late afternoon as you see storms fuel across much of the ArkLaMiss region, especially the southeastern 2/3 of the area. As we've mentioned for about a day and a half now, the main upper trough has continued to trend slower and slower and slower in the forecast. So what looked like a system we were going to deal with during the early half of the day on Friday has trended now into being a storm that we're going to deal with mainly for the latter half of the day on Friday. And we may even deal with it for a few hours into early Saturday because the main frontal passage area of low pressure that develops along this slow-moving front, we call it a meso-low, but just kind of a new area, deepening area of low pressure that could develop along the advancing front, the upper level system, the frontal boundary, all of that together kind of works in tandem to bring one final chance at shower and thunderstorm potential. Then that stuff sweeps off to the east. Most of it, I think at the very latest, should be out of our area by just prior to sunrise on Saturday, and that would be right along the Mississippi Valley. I still think most of the rain would be gone well before then. Clouds will probably linger through a good chunk of the day on Saturday. We really won't warm up much. It'll be kind of cloudy and gloomy through the day. We'll look at the mid-level winds. And again, we've already had this lead disturbance that's helped to fuel thunderstorm activity across much of the Ozarks earlier today. They had some to start. Really hasn't amounted to much as we've progressed through the afternoon. But I will say that the upper-level pattern and how this evolves, the computer models did not handle this well, and I still don't think they have an ultimately very firm grip on what we're going to deal with as we go into the day tomorrow. So there is still a certain amount of wait and see to the forecast, a will it or won't it, if you will, across the area. By late morning, early afternoon, again, there are some subtle, stronger bursts of winds in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, but turning up a lot of subtropical moisture. As the main upper disturbance starts to lift off to the northeast or dig to the north and east. And you can see the strengthening winds associated with it as the storm system eventually passes through. That southern branch of the subtropical jet starts to kind of merge in with this secondary disturbance, this secondary upper level system. And one thing to note with that, as it sweeps through the area this weekend, it will bring a reinforcing shot of cold air for Sunday and Monday. And we've been talking about that. Saturday's going to bring us the cold front, or late Friday, Saturday will bring us the cold front, and we'll be cool for Saturday. Sunday and Monday will be even cooler as we kind of reinforce the cold air that will be in place. Sherry, May, and Miss Hannah, hello. Thank you so much for joining in. Look at the severe weather threat, and again, this is an overnight severe threat. It's not really for today as more than it is for tomorrow morning, because again, these outlooks go from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m., so this technically goes into effect till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And during the overnight storm potential, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, especially with some of the stronger winds kind of interacting in the atmosphere for the possibility for us to see some isolated damaging wind gusts with some of these storms. Again, atmosphere kind of works against it thermodynamically through the overnight hours, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Miss Ida, thank you so much for joining in as well. The severe threat obviously is amplified to a certain extent tomorrow as the front moves through. We get some daytime heating. We continue to pump warm, humid, unstable air into the region, or somewhat unstable. It's not, again, if we were seeing breaks in the clouds, daytime heating, this would be a little bit more of a concerning type severe weather event, but it's going to generally stay overcast. So there's only so much instability we can really gather up in the environment ahead of the storms through the day tomorrow. But multiple rounds are a possibility. I think our main concern is damaging wind gusts. Obviously, when you have damaging wind potential, the isolated tornado potential usually goes hand in hand with the damaging wind possibilities. Hail is possible, but I think most of it would be small and generally considered non-severe. And then also the possibility of some periods of heavy rain with multiple rounds of thunderstorms setting up along the Mississippi Valley. And despite how dry it is and the drought conditions that are in effect, or that are in place across the area, it's wintertime, it's quite dry, and heavy downpours won't necessarily soak in as efficiently as we would hope. So there is the possibility with multiple rounds of thunderstorms for isolated localized street flooding and flash flooding along the Mississippi Valley. This is most likely, again, along the Mississippi River. Those areas have the best ingredients and the best potential to see several rounds of thunderstorms through the day. As you move to the north and west, you're probably going to see rain, but in an overall more limited scope than your neighbors to the east. PV Matus, thank you so much for hopping in and staying updated on the forecast. The official rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center says the exact same thing. Most of us should see rain, and at least measurable rain, but the higher totals will be to the southeast with the lower totals to the northwest. Storms will be more infrequent to the northwest and more frequent to the southeast. That's probably the best way to describe it as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Lows tonight, mid to upper 60s, cloudy, warm, scattered showers, and maybe the occasional thunderstorm possibility overnight. Rhonda, hello. Thank you so much for joining in as well. Mid 70s, upper 70s for highs in some locations tomorrow. We did tie and break some records today, by the way. I'll get to that in just a second. I'll look at the 7-day forecast. Again, noticeably cooler Saturday, but even cooler than that for Sunday and Monday with highs in the low 50s. Morning lows will drop back below the freezing mark as early as Monday. In some areas could be below freezing not only for Monday but also for Tuesday as well. Tallulah-Vicksburg sets a new record today of 78 degrees, breaks the old record of 77 that was set in 1953 and then tied in 1989 and 2008. So we've been at 77 three different times, but now we break that record today, reaching 78 degrees. And that was in Tallulah-Vicksburg, Madison Parish. That's the only record we have in our area, I believe, today. Yes. So there it is. Obviously, you can see that tomorrow is lined up with the possibility for severe thunderstorms. We highlight that in red just to, again, tell you to pay attention to the weather tomorrow. Be alert to rapidly changing weather conditions. And to be honest with you, pay attention more often than you normally would. Claudia, good evening to you as well. In terms of upcoming content, your fish and game forecast, as always, comes out at 8 p.m. tonight. I'll keep an eye on the radar through the rest of the evening to make sure nothing crazy pops up. That if anything that warrants you needing to know, I'll let you know. Obviously, same goes with the overnight stuff. If storms start to pop up through the overnight hours, if warnings persist, I'll obviously keep you updated with that. Our next scheduled live is tomorrow morning, usually between 7 and 8 a.m. That's for folks that are here on a frequent basis. They know that's usually when we join in there. Too Long Didn't Read scheduled for 9:30. And then, of course, as I said, storm coverage provided as needed. If we have to throw this content schedule completely out the window and just completely improvise, I'm totally prepared to do that as well. As we prepare for severe weather, don't forget to charge your mobile devices. Be familiar with your local surroundings, towns, cities, roads, streets in and around your area so you can act quickly if a warning's issued. Review your severe weather plan with your family. Stay alert to the latest weather information. Again, forecasts can and will change, so I just urge you to be alert there. And speaking of receiving alerts, we provide 3 different ways. We urge you to pick up a NOAA weather radio. You can pick one up at places like 3B Hardware, and most stores across the area usually carry some type of NOAA weather radio. Also, you can download the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users, and it gives you free severe weather alerts. And then there is our partnership with Weather Call NextGen. If you like to receive a phone call, text, email, or a combination of all 3, you can go to digitalweatherdesk.com, click on the tab, learn more about our partnership with Weather Call NextGen and your ability to receive phone calls in the middle of the night for nocturnal severe weather events. I know a lot of folks go, I just want to go to sleep. Well, this would give you the opportunity to do that. It is a paid add-on service, $15 a year, so $1.50-ish a month if you think about it that way. But I know, again, an extra added peace of mind. It is, again, completely 100% optional. It does not keep you from receiving any my information that you receive here and all of our forecast information. The app, all that stuff remains 100% free. And will hopefully always stay that way, thanks to the local businesses that make this happen. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. I just said that, but download it. set up all those alerts. I was going to say secure those alerts. That doesn't make any sense. But set up all the alerts for all the locations that are important to you. You can set up to 15 different locations to receive those severe weather alerts. I'll keep you updated with the latest as we go through the rest of the night and through the day tomorrow. And thanks for choosing the Digital Weather Desk as one of, if not your only source for weather information. I'll keep you updated as we go through the rest of the night.